Okay, we're jumping in this well, and we're not coming out until I finish making my point about, things. Mop. So flash forward to Breath of the Wild. We have now this new type of Zelda game where we are presented with frog. A completely open world where you are handed a bunch of toys right at the beginning and are just given free reign to go through and do what you're gonna do. And there's like a lot of the trappings are still there, but it is like fundamentally just like a different mold than what it came before. And in, you know, the case of Tears of the Kingdom, it's this huge deal. It's this big triumphant thing because, you know, they spent years creating this amazing big open world that you love to see. And the toys are really fun. And it's just this new novel thing, and it's really good. And everything since then, now, Zelda is just this now. And again, I'm not trying to make a qualitative judgment, but it's just very interesting to see that you have, post Breath of the Wild, you have this game that I'm playing right here. That was really easy. That wasn't... I expected there to be more to that. That's fine. Is there a hole I can jump into? Can I go down there? No, it's forbidden. Are there fish here before? Oh, dodge. Yeah, but this new, like, open air design, this new open world design, it's just now kind of what Zelda's doing. You had it Breath of the Wild, you have it here. Weirdly, I would also put, Cadence of Hyrule in this mold. Somehow, whether that's accidental or intentional. That game, I did not play an extensive amount of that game, but that game is definitely operating in that same mode of like, okay, here you go. Maybe that's not a fair comparison, but it's just interesting to think about how that came about after the shift had happened. And so playing Echoes of Wisdom, you know, it's... what you're looking at is the people making Zelda, in this case it's Grezzo, but you know, like the people that make Zelda games turned back to looking at the top-down Zelda and said, well, can we put 2D Zelda into that new style? And the answer is, you know, they already kind of had with like Link Between Worlds and stuff, but this is them like fully committing to the idea of, we have this new mold for Zelda, and we're gonna put it into this, what do you even call it? Because it's not a type, it's not a mold. We're gonna put it into a 2D top-down game. You know, obviously it's 3D, but like a top-down, more classic-esque Zelda thing. And see if that works. And it does. That game's good. You've got, again, you are right out the bat handed a bunch of very fun toys. Actually very hilarious that some of the toys were the same, because you still have, despite the fact that it's this kind of game, you still have your button to grab and move a thing around in Echoes of Wisdom in a way that I was like, wait, why is that here? That's weird that they put that in there, but okay. Anyway, I guess the big conclusion to all this is, it's like, we're now in, you know, year 7 of this being just kind of the way that Zelda's operating in. And we're probably got another decade of this way, right? Because if they spent if Nintendo spent 2 decades doing, you know, really reductively doing iterations on Link to the Past, and now we're doing iterations on Breath of the Wild, we're kind of just in this mode now going forward. Like, whatever the next Zelda game is, whether it's a big 3D one or another 2D Grezzo one or whatever, unless it's a remake or some other kind of weird multiplayer deviation, it's just going to be like this. It's just going to be a game with a big world, with the same UI, because every game has the same UI now, which is also a problem. But, you know, some kind of big open world where you are handed your toys at the beginning and given reasonably free reign to go and accomplish objectives at your own pace, in your own order, with your own solutions. And that can be a lot of fun. I clearly like Breath of the Wild. I guess it comes down to how good your toys are, right? When the game becomes less about when it becomes less about deliberate, like, modeled experiences of you're going to solve these puzzles that have the intended solutions, and you're going to feel good about untying this knot in the specific order that, you know, with the specific motions that it needs to. And you go instead to, okay, we're presenting you a more broad situation to deal with, and you have your whole tool set here that you can opt to utilize different stuff. Then it really comes down to how good your toys are. And in a game like Echoes of Wisdom, those toys are pretty fun. Mostly. With a few things I didn't like as much, but mostly pretty good. And then you have the game like this, Tears of the Kingdom, where, you know, they spent years and years on this extremely intricate, extremely technologically advanced tool set that just gets really annoying to use after a while. Which we've talked about, I think. So it's weird. So yeah, I guess going forward, it really just depends on the how much I like a game. How much I like a Zelda game is really going to depend on how fun the toys are. Which is just, you know, again, I'm not trying to make a qualitative judgment. More just looking at, like, okay, that's what's happening. That's what Zelda is now. Which makes sense, because it's not like the old Zelda games were all universally good or bad either. You know, I'm never going to talk about Twilight Princess ever, and that's because I don't, you know, that's it. I was waiting for 50 rupees. Anyway. That's what I spent the first half of playing Echoes of Wisdom thinking about how, well, this is what Zelda is now. What does that mean? And I thought very hard and deep about it, and then sat the game down for a week, and then went back and had a whole bunch of fun with the back half of the game. It's pretty fun. I recommend. Anyway. Hopefully I've gotten this out of my system, and next episode I'll have a fun cave to start talking about this game, but, you know, no promises.